Thank you, Rod. Here we go. For the first time in 30 years, the CFL West semi under the roof at BC Place Stadium, a rematch of the 2011 Grey Cup. The 11-7 Blue Bombers tackle the 12-6 Lions for the right to play the Stampeders in the West Final.
In his first bowl season, Jonathan Jennings threw for over 5,000 yards, one of just 4 quarterbacks in BC Lion history to do that. At age 24, he is the second youngest player to be the team's outstanding player nominee. At times, his aggressive approach gets him in trouble, but it's also the main reason that the BC Lions won 12 games. Matt Nichols took over Game 6 against the Edmonton Eskimos for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and led that Bomber team on a 7-game win streak where he threw just 1 interception. 10-3 on the season as a starter. He does more than manage games. He wins games. Andrew Harris is a great side story with this one. It creates one of the matchups of this game. The run game and the extended runs with that pass out of the backfield to Andrew Harris, just shy of 1,000 on the season against one of the best linebackers in the CFL.
Absolutely, what a great matchup it is. Sullivan Elimimian, the Western nominee, as top defensive player. He led the league in tackles with 129, and he says it's on him and his partner in crime, Adam Bighill, to slam the door in the face of Andrew Harris today. Wally Buono's Lions hosting only the 3rd Western semi in the history of the Lions franchise. The previous 2 were wins over Winnipeg in '86 and 1977. Lions 6-3 at home, while Michael O'Shea's Bombers, the best road team in the Canadian Football League, at 7-2, back in the postseason for the first time in 5 years. Again, a rematch of 2011 that Grey Cup. The Lions won. Bombers have won the last 4 meetings. The last 3 by a combined 8 points. The Stamps await, and we're underway. BC won the toss. They want the football. Chris Rainey's got it. And Rainey works his way up to the 45, providing great field position all season long. A 29-yard return set it up for Jonathan Jennings.
Led the league in those big plays, the plays of 30 yards or more. Jonathan Jennings had 40 on the season. Number 1 in the CFL through all quarterbacks, including Bo Levi Mitchell, although Bo didn't play in that last game of the regular season. He's aggressive. He loves to push it deep, especially early.
Looking for his first ever win over Winnipeg. Ian Wild showing blitz. Fake to Jeremiah Johnson. The pass incomplete. Intended for Arsenault.
Manu Arsenault, their leading receiver. They'll have Jeremiah Johnson, a scare with him in the last game of the regular season. He's in the backfield. His ankle is fine. There's the leading receiver, and Manny Arsenault, over 1,500 yards on the season. Brian Burnham right beside him at 1392. Good offensive line. Their outstanding player nominee, or outstanding lineman nominee, Javon Olafioye.
Lions the number 1 run team, number 3 passing. A passing down here, and the pass is intercepted. Chris Randall jumps it, and an early interception. The 6th against Jennings by this ball hawk defense this year.
This is and has been the storyline coming into this one. Jonathan Jennings will rely on his arm. 24 years old. Young quarterbacks often do that, and he'll try and knife the ball into some small windows. He has got away with it. One of the reasons the team is here. It's also got him in trouble. 5 interceptions. That's number 6. This year against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers alone. Let's see if Matt Nichols can capitalize early on that turnover.
Bombers had 59 takeaways during the regular season, matching a club record set back in 1987. So they start on the Lions side of half. Nichols looked one way, now the other. And out of the backfield, a catch for Harris. And bumped out at the scoring table by Alex Bazzi.
I'll go down in the record books as just shy of 1,000 yards on the season for Andrew Harris, but he was pulled late in the game against Ottawa, the final game of the regular season, and was just short. There's the receiving court. Darvin Adams back in the lineup has been targeted a ton over the last 2 games, and they get their tackles back. Travis Bond and Suk Chung in at those guards, I should say.
2nd and 3, and they And around it to Ryan Smith, and Smith has a first down. Jolted out at the 33-yard line, but a 5-yard pickup and the initial first down of the game.
Number 2 defense against the run, led by Solomon Elimimian and Adam Bighill in the linebacking core. Alex Bazzi led the front 4 in sacks. There's those 2 big linebackers back there. 129 tackles for Solomon Elimimian. The veteran in the back end is Ryan Phillips. 13 playoff starts.
In contrast to Winnipeg, just 9 interceptions among that group. Hand off to Harris, and he's going to move the pile. And when it looked like there was nothing there, he dragged everybody down to the 26. So an indication that he's fired up, and the Lions said they have to try and stop him early before he got going.
Yeah, and you'd think almost when you break down the matchup of Andrew Harris running the ball against Solomon Elimimian and Adam Bighill, can almost make that a push. That's almost a push. Where it gets tricky for BC and their defense is when he gets out of the backfield and becomes a receiver.
Lions may have been fortunate not to get a face mask call. Mike Edom grabbing the grill, but 7-yard pickup, quick hitter inside, and that's a first down to Clarence Denmark, who is the only receiver with Winnipeg that was here in 2011 at the Grey Cup game.
A lot of people saying that Matt Nichols manages games. I think he does much more than that. I think he relies on tremendous accuracy. His timing, getting the ball out of the pocket quickly, has been outstanding. One of the reasons led the Bombers to 11-win season. 10-3 for him as a starter.
Bombers in the red zone, ranked 7th in the league in that department. They were 4 for 8 in the 2 games against BC inside the 20. Nichols has time, taking a shot, left way, incomplete. Lucius Purifoy in coverage.
Great run on Purifoy to cover that one down. Matt Nichols matches the best records on the road this year of any quarterback, including Calgary's Bo Levi Mitchell, 15-win team sitting there waiting for the winner of this one. But 6-1 on the road, Matt Nichols, and that one loss was a barn burner down to the wire against Calgary.
Won his first 7, 3-3 in his final 6, 2nd and 10, steps up, throws complete. Darvin Adams is inside the 5, and it's 1st and goal for the Bombers. 15-yard connection to Darvin Adams.
This is the little things that Matt Nichols does well. Watches him roll out here. He's going to get outside. We're going to have to go to the play and hurry up for a second.
Yeah, they go no huddle. Fake to Harris. Fake bootleg into the corner, incomplete. Wanted Dressler, but Chandler Finner was there defensively.
Let's go back to that first play. The one down to Darvin Adams. Got him on the doorstep here. He's going to roll out, but check a look at how he looks off the coverage. This is a small thing by a veteran quarterback. Once he breaks outside, now hold it there. He stops, he freezes, he looks to the wide side of the field, and then drops it down the hash to Darvin Adams.
2nd and goal from the 4. Addison Richards in, a handoff to Harris, and touchdown, Winnipeg. A former Lion hits pay dirt first.
Andrew Harris handing over to Bond. Travis Bond, that left guard, back in the lineup. Missed the last game of the regular season, but joined the club as a starter the same game Matt Nichols did, and he leads the way on this first touchdown of the West semifinal.
266 yards from scrimmage for Harris in a pair of games against his old team, and an early touchdown in the Western semi. 8 plays, 45 yards. After the interception thrown by Jennings, Medlock did not miss a convert this year and doesn't miss here. 30% of the Bomber points this season off turnovers, and the first 7 of the Western semi off the interception. 7-0 Bombers. The CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by Shaw, proud sponsor and fan of the Canadian Football League. What a start for the visitors. And homecoming for Andrew Harris.
As per the formula for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, formula for success. Turn the ball over, give the offense the ball back at around midfield, and then capitalize with points off the turnovers. Textbook, that's how they've done it all year.
Bombers 6-1 when leading after a quarter. That kickoff, a line drive splits Sinkfield and Rainey, and they're going to concede a point, and it's an 8-0 Bomber lead.
Want to get out and take full advantage after a turnover. It's called sudden change. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers have done it all year, and they go right back at it. Andrew Harris, a lot of the offense you'll see from Winnipeg here this afternoon, like all season, goes through Harris first. And he's the guy who starts the drive. He's the guy who finishes. They had 4 second down conversion attempts on that drive, converted on all 4.
Well, let's see how Jonathan Jennings responds. Threw a pick 6 in his first playoff start last year against Calgary. Hands it off inside to Jeremiah Johnson as we set the Bomber defense for you.
One of 2 Westermans in this game. Jamal playing on that D line for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Leads the team with 8 sacks. They get Khalil Bass back in the middle and Ian Wild in the linebacking core. That's going to help. Those 2 guys are veterans, and then you go back into the back end. And TJ Heath with 7 interceptions. Don't forget Maurice Leggett, 7 interceptions. That tied for the league lead this year.
5 defensive touchdowns. That's the 60th takeaway this season by this defense. 2nd and 7. Heat's on. And Jennings in trouble is dropped. And this defense coming up big early. Euclid Cummings in there along with Westerman.
Cummings right in here, playing right beside in tandem with Jamal Westerman. Makes an inside move. Westerman stays with his man, and Cummings just splits the double team.
Ian Wild in on the sack as well. Loss of 6, and the leading punter of the league this year, Richie Leone, has to boot it away. This one will bounce around inside the 40. 41-yard punt. McDuffie will step out at around the 47 of Winnipeg. So great field position and a big Bomber start. Andrew Harris coming back to face his old team as a Lion for 6 years. A touchdown to the playoffs for the Bombers.
Twice in Andrew Harris's career, he's got to the 1,000-yard mark. This year, just shy of that. However, there's an asterisk. In the last game against the Ottawa Red Blacks, he was taken out early. Michael O'Shea took him off the starting group to save his legs for the playoff game here in BC, and he comes up just shy.
They'll go back to Harris, who finished the year with 137 yards from scrimmage in the last 4 games on average.
You think of just how close he was, 26 yards from adding a third 1,000-yard season. He's also had a year at 998, so in those 2 years, he's been that close to matching Normie Kwong with 4 1,000-yard seasons. But you're right, a dual threat. Catches the ball out of the backfield as well as he runs it.
Led the league in receptions by running backs. Darvin Adams incomplete. Tight coverage there. Anthony Gator on the corner.
You're going to be watching this matchup closely. Anthony Gator was nicked in their last game against Saskatchewan. Never played against Darvin Adams. Him and Chandler Fenner came in about 10 games ago. They've got lots of experience, but they haven't met Adams. He was injured when these 2 teams faced each other in back-to-back games.
Medlock taking it away from Rainey to Iannuzzi, who breaks the first tackle. 41-yard punt. 25-yard line is where BC has the football. Manny Arsenault, the Manny Show, leading the Canadian Football League in touchdowns this year with 13. Trying to stoke the Lions offense here. The CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by the Nissan Titan. 2 teams, 10 trucks, traveling from coast to coast to the Grey Cup. Nissan, the official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Well on the road to the Grey Cup now. Edmonton moving on to meet Ottawa in the Eastern Final. Calgary awaits the winner of this game. Lions awaiting their first down of this Western semi. Arsenault finished so strong. Player of the week last week, player of the month of October. Jennings going through the reads, nobody home. And now on the run throws, and Sinkfield incomplete. Out of bounds at the line bench.
Manny Arsenault, no catches yet in this one. Lions looking for their first down, but Manny Arsenault has found the end zone. The TD leaders this year, Darrell Walker, Ernest Jackson, a finalist for the MOP out of the East Division. Chris Williams at 10, but the leader in that group. Manny Arsenault, 13 TDs. He's got one playoff touchdown in his career in 6 starts.
Finished with 9 touchdowns in the final 8 games of the year. 2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Jennings putting it up and brought down by Arsenault on cue. That's why he has had such an exceptional year.
Chris, quite frankly, he's just out-muscled defensive backs for the football all season long. Jonathan Jennings, when we talked to him yesterday, said he's that guy when I throw it up, and he's getting more and more confident all the time with Brian Burnham as well. But it can be a 50-50 ball, and I know Big Manny Arsenault is going to rip it down.
Just over TJ Heath, a swing pass too high for Rainey to bring down. It'll be 2nd and 10. Arsenault with 105 catches. First Lion to register over 100 since G. Simon had the same number 10 years ago.
Nice accuracy on that outside shoulder from Jennings. Throw it away from coverage.
Haven't been many wide open windows though for Jennings so far in this first quarter. Second and 10. Over the middle, has a catch, has Burnham. First down, brought down by the terrific safety and Rookie of the Year candidate, Taylor Loeffler.
Yeah, as much as we've talked about Manny Arsenault already, this is the guy, Brian Burnham, that leads the team in those big plays down the field, those 30-yard or more catches. Burnham has 15. That was number 1 in the league.
And as you mentioned, number 1, 30-yard plays for Jennings and Jeremiah Johnson with a big run.
There's some playoffs. There's some playoff contact. Jeremiah Johnson getting that run game going now on this drive. Nice break there. The jump cut. Oh, listen in. Oh, yeah. It's playoff time.
TJ Heath finished it off, but it's an 18-yard run. And Jennings goes back to the sidelines. And here's Stephen Akulu into the lineup as a starter in the absence of Sean Gore.
Yeah.
And a big catch for him early in the game.
Yeah, Sean Gore is still going through the protocols for concussion. And Akulu gets an opportunity. He'll play that wide spot. They'll move Marco Iannuzzi around as well in certain formations. But Akulu getting an opportunity here.
14 for Akulu, and this Lion offense has some traction in the red zone. And first down at the 14. Pressure on Jennings. Khalil Bass in pursuit. Ball loose, and Bass has got it. And Jennings makes the tackle, but Mo Leggett knocked it loose. Bass scoops it up, and it's another takeaway for the Bombers defense. An early Winnipeg interception, and now a critical fumble recovery when the Lions were looking like they were poised to score. Leggett, the forced fumble. Bomber football.
Well, just like the 2 times that these 2 teams faced in the regular season, the script is unfolding in a similar fashion. An early turnover, first series of the game, right there to Chris Randall. Then late in this drive, the last one, Jonathan Jennings does not cover up the football, does not secure it, gets hit by Mo Leggett. Another turnover for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Travis Lulay immediately going to Jonathan Jennings after that fumble, trying to keep his head in it. Don't worry about it. You've learned all year from it. Learn now from it in this game. He's fighting self-doubt right now, I guarantee you.
Plenty of early drama here, and now the Bombers take over. Nichols in under pressure, got away, and throws incomplete, but did well to avoid a sack. Trying to hook up with Ryan Smith.
Yeah, or just throw it in the vicinity of Smith so that he could save the loss. That was jailbreak blitz from the BC defense. Well managed, 2nd and 10. Not ideal, but not a sack. All that police. Talked to him before the game about scheming against this BC defense. Sometimes it's adapt and overcome. See what they're doing, make the changes as the game goes on.
2nd and 10. From the pocket, Nichols throws. Darvin Adams can't squeeze it. What he should have had. And then a late flag on a taunting call, and Winnipeg may get to stay on the field. Adams only 8 games this year, 690 yards. And Purifoy, they've tossed the ball back at him to.
After the play, objectional conduct, BC 0, taunting, 10-yard penalty, 1st down, Winnipeg.
Well, he's coached in more playoff games than any coach in the CFL right now. Wally Buono will have a discussion with Purifoy on the sideline. As small as this seems, you can't do it.
It's a rule.
Yeah.
It's to Quincy McDuffie. A game breaker for the Bombers in their offense, but not on this play. As Mike Edom, Solomon Elamimian rally to the football.
I'm going to show you something right here. Look down the bottom of your screen right there. That's Brandon Stewart now giving the ref an earful. That's the BC Lions, a young team here that's starting to kind of unravel early in this one. A couple of turnovers. They've got to bring it back together. Has nothing to do with the officials. We'll play ball. That's it.
5 for McDuffie, 2nd and 5. They empty the backfield. And Nichols looking for Dressler. He's got it. Terrific catch for Weston Dressler. Coming off his 6th 1,000-yard season.
Plays made because of the accuracy from Matt Nichols. He's going to float a little bit to his left just to find his throwing lane, but he's got to throw it to the outside, right down that sideline, because you can see how close Chandler Fenner was on the upfield shoulder. That ball's inside at all. It's going the other way.
38 playoff catch for Dressler. 5 completions, 5 different receivers. Andrew Harris cuts it back. Dropped at the Lion 48. And maybe just a yard.
You see that even if the Bombers don't score on this drive, that penalty has just cost BC a ton of field position and flopped the field.
Well, it took points off the board, too.
Absolutely.
Second and 9. 3-man line front, they send 5. Looks like they want to set up the screen, and flags fly because Mikhail Brooks was all over the intended target, Andrew Harris.
Basically double-A gap blitz from Solomon Elamimian and Adam Bighill. They've done this a lot more in the back half of the season.
BC, number 90. It's a 10-yard foul, automatic 1st down, Winnipeg.
You're going to see this blitz turns into B-gap for Solomon Elamimian, but there's the blitz, and here is Mikhail Brooks. Now, Mikhail Brooks is going to spy and read this well, that it's the screen set up to Andrew Harris, but he can't grab him, and he can't tackle him before the ball gets there. That extends the drive.
Second penalty that keeps the Winnipeg offense on the field. To Harris, open as Adams, got him this time, and another Bomber 1st down at the 15.
They're working this corner route. You saw that first one on this series to Weston Dressler, and they're working the young guys in Chandler Fenner and Anthony Gator. There's your corner route from Darvin Adams. Now watch how, this is how the Lions are going to have to defend this going forward. Stop it there. Gator's got to have to float back and help this and force the underneath throw from Matt Nichols. Right now they're opening up the gate in behind that deep coverage, in front of the deep coverage and behind that short coverage.
Second trip inside the red zone. Nichols throws complete. But a quick close there from Brandon Stewart. McDuffie the catch.
You know, Chris, I said Andrew Harris was a double threat. He's more than that. He's a triple threat. Andrew Harris, his last play, is going to step up and make a blitz pickup that's necessary. There's Adam Bighill coming. He doesn't make that block. He's going to get his quarterback hit. Steps in there, gives Matt Nichols enough time to get it out of there.
Second and 7. Empty it out again. Quarterback draw. Nichols gets tripped up short.
Big tackle. Big tackle.
That Alex Bazzi that stuck out the arm looked like he is shaken up a bit, but a big defensive play to upend Nichols, who had some daylight.
Well, did he ever? I thought this is the ideal call because there's Bazzi first of all, but he's got Solomon Elimimian running out of there. That's the guy that would take quarterback draw, but he's got him out looking at coverage. If Alex Bazzi doesn't make that play, you're looking at a foot race between Solomon Elimimian and Matt Nichols. But he dives, gets the left arm out, forces a field goal.
Justin Medlock set a Canadian Football League record this year with 60 field goals and does not miss from inside the 20. An 18-yarder here. And it's an 11-point Bomber lead as we join Farhan Lalji on the sidelines.
Thanks, guys. You know, Andrew Harris has already had an impact on this game, and he says, despite the fact he's such an emotional player, the emotion of facing his former team really has dissipated because they've played twice already. But there is a big comfort zone for him when they play here. He has got 50 family and friends that are here watching tonight, so Lions front office is probably pretty happy about that. He had dinner with a close friend last night, showed up earlier today before the rest of his team, warmed up in the exact same spot with the exact same routine he did when he was a player. But one thing he does say, I'm a Bomber now, but this is still my house.
Off to a good start here with a touchdown in the opening quarter. 10 points off 2 Lion turnovers so far for Winnipeg. They fake the jet to Rainey, and wide open here is Burnham. Brian Burnham at midfield and bumped out at the Winnipeg bench.
Well, that's a good throw, a good confidence-building throw for the 24-year-old quarterback. You saw Travis Lulay at the sideline after that fumble going to talk to Jonathan Jennings. That's on a roll, getting him outside. Nice throw just to get it over the coverage, drop it into Burnham, because right now you've got to believe that Jonathan Jennings needs to lean on that veteran a little bit, keep his head in this game, stay focused, and have a short memory.
Jennings number 3 in passing yardage, threw the most interceptions with 15. Fakes it to Johnson, steps up and fires, and Burnham can't hang on. A guy who's made so many of those tough catches this season. But that's an incompletion on the final play of the opening quarter. A big one for the visitors. 10 points on turnovers and an 11-0 lead after 15 minutes of the Western semifinal. Boom! First quarter right out of the Bombers' blueprint. It's just the way they've won games all year long.
Yeah, the BC Lions have been second and long too often. That plays to that defense for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, plays right into their hands. I look at the 21 rushing yards. That's 2 carries, 21 yards for Jeremiah Johnson. The BC Lions led the league this year rushing as a team. Jerome Messam was the leading rusher, but rushing as a team with the Lions. That can settle down a little Jonathan Jennings and get him out of second and long.
One guy who doesn't have to settle down, really looks composed and veteran is Matt Nichols.
Yeah, this is, as you mentioned, Chris, right to the formula of how the Bombers have won. You know, their defense turns the ball over, gets that field position. Matt Nichols calmly, coolly, and collectedly comes in and puts points on the board when they do.
Start the second quarter, 2nd and 10 BC. At the Winnipeg 53. Good protection. Underneath it goes. Johnson's got a first down. Jeremiah Johnson written out by Loeffler. But the Lions move the chains.
And a 2nd and long. This time they convert it, and it's an extended running play. They get their running back involved, and Jeremiah Johnson, he's going to be the check down man, picks it up and then makes something happen with the ball after the catch.
Just 13 catches this season for Johnson. In contrast to the 67 for Andrew Harris. Rainey checks in, Johnson at the bench. Well, handed off to the speedster, who slices through and got to the 2nd level. And close to another first down. Let's give Rainey 8.
Talked to Kahari Jones about the balance he's brought to the run game here with Jeremiah Johnson or Anthony Allen. They've split them throughout the regular season, and he said, you know, he remembered when he had Charles Roberts in Winnipeg in the backfield, how important he was.
Feed it to Rainey again, and there's a first down run for Chris Rainey. 36 carries, 309 yards in the regular season in spot duty, and the #1 player in all-purpose yards this year in the CFL. He did it all.
Lion record, yep.
Yeah, broke the record.
Ian Smart, no wait.
The Lions just inside the 25. Johnson back in, and there's that run game. And what a cut that was down inside the 15, and that should be another first down.
This is a good way to settle the nerves of Jonathan Jennings. A couple of early turnovers, get rid of those, block them out, go to your run game, allow the old lineman up front to drive off the ball, not always be catching, but they can aggressively run block and let your running back do some work.
Well, they spotted it back at the 15, so 2nd and a yard, and that surge should get them a new set of downs.
I asked Kahari Jones, I said, why do you think sometimes coordinators forget about the run when it's been so good to them all year long? He said, you know, I think when you get stuffed on a run, it almost feels like it hurts more that you've been beat physically, and that's when sometimes coordinators will abandon the run. He said, we've tried to not do that, to stick with it from the beginning of the game to the end.
But back in the red zone, 0 for 1 after the fumble the last trip. Fake to Johnson this time. Sideline throw. Extending. Got the cone. Got the touchdown.
Bruce Johnson's arguing they will review it because it's ruled a touchdown. So Johnson doesn't have to worry. The league is looking at it. Well, let's see if he extended across. Play action is why the play is successful. That view looked like it got blocked. Let's see, foot inbounds there. He dives. No knee has touched. Does the ball break the plane?
Looks good, doesn't it?
Before the knee touched, looks like it did.
Wow. Heck of a play for Brian Burnham. Just 3 touchdowns in the regular season. But 1 to get BC back in it here. And you're right, they kind of hit the reset button as they are often want to do a 2-point attempt. 13 of 24 regular season. Trying to get him within 3. Jump ball for Arsenault, but that's out of his reach. Incomplete. So a 5-point Bomber lead as the Lions hit pay dirt for the first time on a terrific athletic play by the outstretched Brian Burnham. CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by BDC, the only bank devoted exclusively to entrepreneurs.
It's a long ball game. Playoff football, baby. It's a long game. Let's go.
Terrific year for Brian Burnham, 4th in the league in receiving, 1,392 yards in a line drive kickoff that McDuffie takes at the 6. Wondered if he was going to let that bounce out of bounds. He's got other plans. Brings it back to the 25.
And let that one go out, but let's take a look at the touchdown drive. And I think the catalyst in this drive, even though it starts with this throw to Burnham on the sideline, the catalyst was Jeremiah Johnson. A bit of a check down there. They go to Rainey up the middle, get the run game back involved, something that they've worked with all season long. That great balance. Got out of second and long in this drive. That set up play action, and Burnham finds the corner.
8 plays, 75 yards, 5 first downs on the drive, more than they had in the game prior to that. Andrew Harris, big collision there as he meets up with Adam Big Hill, third in the league in tackles with 108.
And that touchdown drive, huge for a young quarterback in just his second playoff game. And the guy beside him, I guarantee, is helping, keeping him straight, keeping the focus, working that iPad every time they get to the sideline.
Yeah, how important it was Travis Lulay to keep him settled during that first quarter. 2nd and 7, Nichols going to throw. Here comes the heat, got it away, and Darvin Adams can't hang on. Anthony Gator wrestled him down and separated Adams from the football. And Winnipeg's going to have to kick it away.
Boy, Matt Nichols had to hang in there to get this one out and get it to his receiver, give him a chance. Darvin Adams did almost everything he could. I mean, he has it briefly. Anthony Gator fights him as he goes down. Unfortunately for Adams, he's got to survive that contact when he hits the turf, and he wasn't able to do it.
2nd 2 and out for Winnipeg. Medlock booting it, then again away from Rainey. It'll be Iannuzzi reversing field. Can he get outside? No. Tripped up. Kyle Knox upending Iannuzzi with the flag down. We'll sort that out for you when we come back to BC Place Stadium. Shaw Road to the Grey Cup continues next Sunday. Division final doubleheader. First up, a rematch of last year's Grey Cup. Red Blacks will square off against the Eskimos in the Eastern Final, and then the Stampeders against the winner of this game. All begins at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific on TSN 1, 3, and 4. And the Western Final in 1, 4, and 5 on TSN. There's Rainey first. I was going to say Matthew Shinetti reporting that Mike Riley should be good to go next week. Chris Rainey good to go here in this first half.
Ian Wild, Khalil Bass, great tacklers. But Chris Rainey can make the best in the business just get frozen and almost bust out of their spat. I mean, this guy's got moves in small spaces like I've not seen this year from any other player. I mean, he's exciting. He gets you to the edge of your seat every time he touches the ball.
He's still kicking himself about being stopped on a 3rd and 1 at the goal line against the Bombers in Winnipeg. That was the difference in that game.
Play made by Mo Leggett.
Terrence Frederick's gone to the sidelines. Looks like he has a helmet issue. So they're going to have to change things up. And Derek Jones, the 3rd-year man out of Simon Fraser, has to come in and play the corner. Kind of neat that his dad, Ed Jones, and James Quick Parker's son, Keenan Parker, both in this game.
Well, look at the play that Kahari Jones, he saw that Derek Jones comes out. Now, Derek Jones, Mike O'Shea praised yesterday as a great special teams player out at the corner, but they're going to bring Manny Arsenault and move Iannuzzi in here and maybe set up a matchup where Arsenault, watch number 84, comes out here, gets matched up on the replacement in Terrence Frederick.
So Jones, the field corner. Arsenault has set up on the boundary side this time. 2nd and 5. Pressure on. And down goes Jennings. He'll get dropped by Jake Thomas.
Really a team sack in a lot of ways. The back end did their job to that short side of the field you were talking about, Chris. That's that short side when you're close to the hash or on the hash. Short side is from the hash to this sideline. So the short side is in this direction. Watch Jennings take a look in that direction immediately. You want to go hot there. There he is, taking a look hot. It's not there. So coverage sack in that regard. and then the pocket just collapsed on him.
Quincy McDuffie's momentum takes him out of bounds. That's where the Bombers will scrimmage, but that's the third sack of the game for the Winnipeg defense that only registered 2 sacks against BC in the regular season.
2 sacks, but lots of pressures that turned into a whole bunch of takeaways. More takeaways than any other team this year.
Midway through the second quarter, back in the hands of Matt Nichols, starting at the Bomber 23. Fake to Harris, a fake on the sweep, and wide open is Dressler, and away he goes. He'll get caught from behind by Chandler Fenner, but an explosion play for the Bombers. And that's the 5th playoff catch for Weston Dressler of at least 35 yards.
2 fakes, one this way and one this way. Watch Solomon Elimimian go with the second fake and go wide. There's the first fake, coming this direction. Solomon Elimimian way outside. That gives him Matt Nichols lots of time to throw. Here comes Solomon Elimimian late. And a 60-yarder in behind coverage.
Paul Lapalisse is going deep in the playbook in this first half. Well executed big play, 60 yards. Nichols over the middle. Ryan Smith, touchdown. '27-yard touchdown streak. Ryan Smith had not scored a major since July 7th. The one that went viral off his hip. This is even bigger here in the West Semi.
He's on that short side again and lined up with Weston Dressler. Dressler runs the corner. Ryan Smith runs straight down that post on Ryan Phillips, the veteran, gets inside position, and it's touchdown Bombers.
What a drive. 2 plays, 87 yards.
That's all right.
I didn't think Nichols was a gunslinger. He's slinging it. And what a big Blue Bombers have a 12-point lead. First the 60-yarder to Nichols, and then on a line to Ryan Smith to Bader.
A lot of the Bomber offense goes through Andrew Harris. There's Harris there. There's the touchdown from Ryan Smith, and I want you to watch the safety, Mike Edom. Go ahead and roll it, guys, and watch how the decoy and Andrew Harris pulls the safety. Here it is right there. Andrew Harris, safety comes out of the middle, and Smith right in behind him goes right where he just vacated. Mike Edom's got to stay true to the middle of the field there and help that backside. He doesn't because he's focused on number 33.
Chris Rainey on the return. Finally brought down just short of the 30-yard line.
So I told him to be patient because I knew if they went man, they'd do the same thing. He's just gonna think it's under, and then you just go. And that, well, because as soon he started coming down, as soon as you went vertical, yeah. As soon as you went vertical, it just threw him off, and so he fell backwards, he lost his balance.
Suits, you could take a play off.
Yeah.
Let Matt Nichols analyze things.
Thanks for breaking down the game. I thought he was talking there about Ryan Phillips. He sort of fell backwards, lost his balance on the nice move by Ryan Smith there.
Back to work goes Jonathan Jennings. Lions start at the 30. And Jeremiah Johnson busts out across the 45 of the first down. And you mentioned it after the first quarter. Maybe they have to go to the run, and it's been successful here in the second quarter.
Well, lots of time left in this game. It gets more difficult when the deficit grows, but you've got to just stay with your game plan. And this has been the Lions' game plan all year. Balanced attack, run game and pass, and the deep ball's off of play action.
Johnson up to 46 yards rushing. Fake to him this time. Low throw is brought in by Arsenault, up around the 54. So he's a couple of yards short. 2nd and 2.
A lot you can do at 2nd and 2. Playbook wide open for Kahari Jones here.
Arsenault and Burnham each had one monster game against Winnipeg. Arsenault 10 catches for 150. Burnham had a 9-catch, 208-yard game. Singfield in motion. They give it to Johnson. He's going to get stopped. He got cut down in the backfield. Mo Leggett, the dime back, with another big play.
Boy, he has a nose for the football. We mentioned his 7 interceptions. Mo Leggett has scored 3 times from the defensive side of the ball, and then he just cuts underneath here from the right side of your screen. Doesn't respect the play action fake at all from Jonathan Jennings.
Leone's high boot. It's going to be a 15-yard no yards call against BC. As McDuffie gets dropped at the 20. Prior to that last Winnipeg series, Matt Nichols had
BC, number 0. 15-yard penalty. First down, Winnipeg.
Second penalty against Purifoy. Nichols had 82 yards passing. He had 87 on that last series on the 2 completions to Dressler and Smith. So a net of 26 yards after that 15-yard penalty assessed against Purifoy. Nichols over the middle of Purifoy, almost had the interception intended for Ryan Smith.
Well, how many times, Chris, you think about that double fake and the deep ball on the last series to Weston Dressler? How many times have we seen quarterbacks miss a wide open receiver like that because they're aiming the ball a little bit too much? And that's what I mean about Matt Nichols. Doesn't get near enough credit for his accuracy. I think that ball was tipped.
I was thinking the same thing. Had a little wobble on it. So he got away with one there, 2nd and 10. Pocket collapses, throws in under the reach of Dressler, but a flag down. Chandler Fenner was there defensively, but another pass interference call will keep Winnipeg's offense on the field.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about this one. It looked like Weston Dressler was trying to curl it up and then bang back to the outside, and Fenner just cut him off and wouldn't let him get out there. Well past the 5-yard zone where you can make contact on a receiver, and when the ball was thrown to Weston Dressler, it goes from legal contact to PI.
Legal contact that was moved to pass interference. BC, number 39. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, the crowd doesn't like it, but this is the call that should be made. It was a curl and then to an out, and watch how the out gets cut off by Chandler Fenner. Here comes the curl from Dressler. He'll curl it in there. Now he wants to bang back outside, and Fenner says, "No, I'm gonna push you and not allow you back to it. You can beat him to the ball, but you can't stop him from getting there." That's pass interference.
Both teams healthy. BC used only 42 game starters this year, fewest in the league, but they did have to make some adjustments in the secondary with injuries to TJ Lee and Radiel. Here's Harris, big hole right side, ripping it off down to the 44-yard line of the Lions. 23 yards on the carry for Andrew Harris. Now with 40 in the game.
Jamarcus Hardrick, Zook Chung. Here we go. Let's take a look at some great blocking up front on the right side of that offensive line. Zook Chung right at the point of attack. He takes care of Maynard. Now look at this outside rush lane for Harris. Nice Hardrick reach block to stop any penetration from the linebacking core.
Ryan Smith helping out too. Not this time. Mikhail Brooks shuts the door.
After the back-to-back losses, Wally Buono to Winnipeg, Wally Buono said to his team they weren't physical enough. You can be more physical. When you let the other team be more physical than you, that's where turnovers happen. That's where you lose the turnover battle. You lose the run game battle. And be more physical.
Second and 11. Nichols, quick hitter. Harris has it. Breaks a tackle. What a big first down that is. Adam Big Hill had a shot at him, short of the first down. Harris would go down. Comes up with a 17-yard pickup and another Bomber first down at the 3-minute warning.
Close to halftime in BC. Meanwhile, in Hamilton, it's the CFL's Witness Protection Program. Forget the football panel. We have to find an electrical panel and share our thoughts on this game you're watching and the earlier one with Edmonton beating Hamilton. CC Suits. Actually, we've got an idea now. You can see us, right?
We got you. Look forward to halftime. Matt Nichols trying to expand the lead before half. And Ryan Smith, touchdown! Somehow stretched out in midair to break the play.
Paul Appelese, the offensive coordinator for the Bombers, calling a great game right now. He's got the BC Lion defense guessing. They're playing the run. They're jumping up to play action, allowing receivers to get in behind them. Ryan Smith on this corner route keeps his feet in bounds, and then just like Brian Burnham did earlier, extends to the cone.
Spectacular play. One touchdown in the regular season, and Ryan Smith has double dipped here in the second quarter. Looks like the play is still under review by the command center. And so we're on hold here. Six plays, 77 yards. And doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it.
Didn't see anywhere where Smith ran out of bounds. He was in bounds there. So yeah, they gave it the green light.
And Medlock hits it the second time. What a first half for Smith. What a first half for Winnipeg. And they've opened up a 19-point
right
lead.
Now. Yeah, that was good because he got in front of
15's doing more than just manage.
Touchdowns on the last two possessions.
I mean, this is on the run. This is Matt Nichols. Play action. That pulls the linebacking core and even froze a couple of DBs. And look at that throw and the accuracy on it as he rolls to his right. That Andrew Harris play kept this drive alive. If Harris doesn't do this on this play, a couple of plays earlier, just before the break, and second effort beating the tackle of Adam Big Hill and Solomon Elimimian for a first down, they don't get a chance for that Ryan Smith touchdown. Second effort by Harris. That's a playoffs type play.
In the Eastern Semi, the home team rallied from 15 down to tie it up against the Eskimos. Now it's a 19-point deficit for the home team in the Western Semi. With 2:18 remaining here for BC to put a better complexion on this first half. Rainey's return and got a crease. Flag comes down as Rainey is stopped around the 43-yard line. 37-yard return pending this call.
On the return, holding BC, number 46. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Rolly Lumbala, and penalties have hurt the Lions in the first half. They have taken all 6 penalties so far. Join us at the half for the GMC Precision Playbook. Today, Schultze flashes back to one of the great BC Lion defensive players and playoff stars, Corey Banks. And a play he made back in 2011. Grey Cup matchup between these two. It went dramatically different than the script of this first half as Sinkfield limps to the sidelines.
There have been some bad penalties taken. Think about the taunting call on Uchez Pierrefoy. That extended the drive.
The Lions' second fewest penalties this year in yards. Only 4 times did they have 100 yards in penalties. So discipline, usually not an issue. Jennings hits Atakulu over the middle, and he lunges up to the 32-yard line, and that should be enough for a first down.
Jennings has time here. He goes in the hurry up. He'll be calling plays on the line of scrimmage, try and get some of this momentum back. Take a look at the athletic play by Atakulu.
Looks like they're going to mark him just short, so they will plunge ahead and get the necessary foot or two that was required. But if you're a Lions fan, you're thinking that they need to come away with something here in the final 2 minutes, don't you think?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Pedal to the metal here. Just cut Jonathan Jennings loose. He likes to throw it deep. May need one now.
And he's got no incomplete. Burnham can't hang on. Underneath around the 43-yard line. Mike O'Shea said something that was music to your ears yesterday about Taylor Loeffler.
He's bringing back that old school safety play. Coach O'Shea told us about Loeffler, that coming downhill with a purpose, and that purpose is to blow things up. No matter who has the ball in his hands. Forced 3 fumbles in the last 3 games.
Young guy out of Kelowna, BC High School Player of the Year back in 2010. What a rookie season. 2nd and 10. Underneath, it's Rainey. First man misses. Rainey's got a first down and more. Electrifying play from Chris Rainey down to the BC line, or the Winnipeg Blue Bomber 40.
You know, like guys like Brandon Banks and Hamilton, Chris Rainey's a similar guy that has basically a pitch count, so to speak, when it comes to the regular season, but not now. Wally Buono can cut him loose, can put him out there as many times as he can offensively, get him in all the returns, and just work him the entire game. It's playoff time. Lose, you go home.
But a jump cut that sprung him 3 of Ian Wild. 37 yards on the play. And now Jeremiah Johnson, and he's got more. Loeffler can't bring him down. Jeremiah Johnson, touchdown.
Wow. He needed that. Jeremiah Johnson or Chris Rainey, boy, they can make you miss. Tremendously quick feet, bounces it, basically untouched to the end zone.
A little like that Bomber touchdown drive earlier, 2 plays, 87 yards. They just had 2 plays and 77 yards to cap a 5-play, 88-yard drive. They needed an answer. And now go for 2. Fake to Rainey. Looking for Arsenault again. Does he have it? No. Same play call twice on the 2-point convert. And they come away empty-handed both times.
BC Lions gone for 2 more than any team in the CFL during the regular season. Got to do it a couple of times here. They tried the same play. Both times double coverage on Arsenault. Both times on the corner. Both times incomplete. Let's take a look at the touchdown one more time and watch your center for the BC Lions. If you're a Lions fan, Cody Husband. He's going to make that block. He holds up Sholigan in the middle. That's the key block. Now it's a one-on-one with Wild in the hole and Jeremiah Johnson. Jump cut on Ian Wild. That buys him some time. A missed tackle there. It looked like it was Loeffler, and that you don't see that very often. And Johnson goes the rest of the way.
I think we're going to get a challenge on that convert as Wally Buono's staff took another look. Was there early contact on Arsenault before the ball arrived? After the second look, I kind of thought we might get something here. And does TJ Heath make contact ahead of the arrival of the football. In the hands of the command center now.
BC Lions in the regular season.
BC is challenging that there was pass interference on their number 84. We'll review the play.
Attempted 24 two-point converts. Converted on 13. Now they're behind now, which changes the decision for Waliwana. But let's take a look. Does TJ Heath make the early contact? Randall with the right arm up inside of the, around the face area of Manny Arsenal. Now it looked to me like TJ Heath is playing the ball, but he does get there a little bit early.
Whether that right shoulder is there prematurely or not.
Back in the old days, that play would stand. That would be 2-3 players in this case playing the football and some incidental contact through the process. Now it's a little bit different now with the review process and being able to break it down as much as you can. This is of more concern for Winnipeg, where they're checking out that knee, it looks like, of TJ Heath.
All-star season, 7 interceptions, 2 after joining the Bombers.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. BC has charged their first team timeout.
Yeah, again, 3 players playing the football. There's going to be contact, and all 3 players have equal right to the ball. So
it's a 13-point
old school call.
Winnipeg lead.
Command center.
Old school safety.
Old school review. Yeah, you got it right.
Also saw a little new school there. The Lions with the mannequin challenge celebration in the end zone. Quincy McDuffie. And McDuffie across the 30-yard line. Let's take another look, Suits. I'm a little hipper than you. And,
okay.
So here's the mannequin challenge. We saw it with Michelle Obama and the Cleveland Cavaliers at the White House. Little freeze frame. And they're the Calgary Stampeders. They are hard at work getting ready for next week's Western Final.
Little disagreement there, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't be all perfect in the room.
Reading the paper, phones, of course, they're involved.
Yep, the Stamps are hard at work. Awaiting a winner of this game, Darvin Adams a catch. And into the final minute here of what's been a terrific first half for the Bombers on both sides of the football. And Matt Nichols more than managing this game. Can't find anybody here. Throwing to the sidelines, incomplete. Out of the reach of Julian Fioli-Gadino, who gets the start ahead of Rolly Colbert this week.
You know, I asked Ryan Phillips about playing against Matt Nichols, and Phillips told me I'm going to have to go through 2 Eastern Washington Eagles to get to where we want to go, which is a Grey Cup, because Bo Levi Mitchell, of course, also Eastern Washington. Matt Nichols, Eastern Washington. But he was the guy who said to me, he doesn't manage. He's got great accuracy. Matt Nichols knows where to put the ball and when to get it there.
Big boot to Rainey, and a sure tackle. Chris Randall downfield. The gunner got there to make sure Rainey didn't do any damage after a 48-yard punt, but 33 seconds left now. 13-point lead for Winnipeg, and do you turn him loose with just over a half minute to go?
40 plays over 30 yards. Now, keep in mind, the Bombers know that too, and they will back up a little bit, give them room. They want to make Jonathan Jennings, with 33 seconds left in the half, dump it underneath and then just rally to make tackles here.
Lions started their 24. Here comes Heath. Jennings steps up. And Khalil Bass will wrap him out the 30-yard line. On the market at the 29, he gets 5. Takes 7 off the clock, and It'll start to run as soon as Kim Murphy blows play in.
Wide field corner for Winnipeg. Terrence Frederick back in the lineup.
See if they take one shot to try and get it in McCallum field goal range. That'll go to the sidelines. And Akula's got to get out of bounds. He got the first down, but yeah, there's a young player mistake.
May only been 2 or 3 seconds, but that may be the difference. I mean, for a play here to get to field goal range and then the kicker to come out in Paul McCallum.
Yeah, if it stopped with 8 seconds, they could throw 20 yards downfield and maybe get it into range, but the clock is draining here, so they have to put it all on this throw. Flag down, though. That might give them something. And Iannuzzi has a catch, rolls out of bounds. Still means the only way they come up with anything is a Hail Mary. It's going to go against BC
Holding
anyway.
BC number 62. Penalties decline. End of the half.
So the penalty against Cody Husband, and it ends a wild first half in this Western semifinal, and a terrific one for the visitors. A couple of takeaways and some big plays on offense as we head back to Hamilton and Rod Smith. Welcome back to beautiful BC. It's a 13-point lead for the visitors. 555 yards of offense in the first half. Let's head to the sidelines. Farhan Lalji with Jonathan Jennings.
Jonathan, how important was that last drive just to get some momentum going into halftime?
It was huge. We needed to close the gap, and they're playing a tough game, but we gotta get back to our basics and just make things happen.
I know the turnovers were the big story coming into this. You turned it over twice early. Knowing that you've got to come back now, how difficult is it to manage that and still protect the ball?
You gotta play smart. You just gotta see what the defense is doing, react, make sure you're seeing what you're throwing, and go from there.
Thanks for this.
Thanks.
Jennings, 181 yards, early interception, a touchdown pass. Mike O'Shea's team gets the ball first here in the second half. His team did not get penalized once in the opening 30 minutes. Sound football in all phases. Leone with the boot, Quincy McDuffie with the football. And angled out around the 23-yard line. It was the Smith and Weston offense in the first half. Dressler with 83 yards and catches. Smith 61 yards and 2 touchdowns for Matt Nichols.
I hear you. You spent all halftime working on that, didn't you? And it was Matt Nichols moving the pocket. A first half that was real well called by offensive coordinator Paul LaPolice. Nichols on pace for a 400-yard passing game. Already 2 touchdowns, both of them to Ryan Smith.
They emptied out on first down. Underneath it goes. There's another Ryan Smith catch. He gets punished by Adam Bighill.
That was an interesting comment from Andrew Harris at halftime when he said, looks like Adam Bighill and Solomon Elamimian are spying me a little bit, which would mean so much more to the play action game. So if Matt Nichols tries to fake it to Andrew Harris, and he has 56 of 44 jumping to the line of scrimmage, he's got more room in behind for guys like Dressler and Ryan Smith in that intermediate passing game.
9 of 13 first half. They fake that in around again, and the pass under the reach of Harris. And in the trail spot there was Solomon Elamimian spying him.
I think that one was Matt Nichols just deciding by the position of Solomon Elamimian in that trail position you mentioned, Chris, that if he throws this right to that shoulder of Andrew Harris coming out of the backfield, then it might be picked off. You see, there goes Solomon Elamimian. That throw goes on a line, and Elamimian has a crack at it.
4th 2 and out of the game for the Bombers. Rainey with the football from his 25. And he gets met at the 35 and dragged down. 50-yard boot. Loeffler the tackle.
So much talk coming into this game about Jonathan Jennings finding that balance between protecting the football and sticking with his aggressive postures, aggressive attitude. First series of the game, he throws a pick. Couple series later, gets hit and fumbles. The veteran Travis Lulay tries to calm him down a little bit. He gets the drive going. Brian Burnham finds the end zone, tried for 2 two-point converts. Both weren't successful.
Also 125 rushing yards for the Lions in the first half. We'll start on the ground here, and Johnson up to the 41, dragged down by Jamal Westerman.
Well, at the break, at the first quarter break, they had 21 yards rushing. That was 2 carries from Jeremiah Johnson. So over 100 yards in the second quarter alone running the ball. That's been their formula that they went away from in the first quarter. Back to it in the second, and starting this second half with a run.
Johnson up to 7 carries, 88 yards. 2nd and 6. We'll look in here, and Arsenault trying to stretch out to the 45, which would still be 2 yards short. And they're going to have to punt the football away after their first possession of the second half. Arsenault's been held in check, and you can tell Wally Buono upset that that play was short of the necessary yardage. Leone drives out of beauty. McDuffie back at his 5. 60-yard boot by the leading punter in the league, and they get downfield to cover it. By Kekalungo. Big first half for Ryan Smith. Couple of touchdown catches, helping Winnipeg to this 25-12 lead. On the heels of the deaths of Vic Rapp and Jim Eddy in the last couple of weeks, sad news to report. Larry Kaharick, former coach in Calgary and here with the BC Lions, passed away today at the age of 70 from a brain tumor. Wally Buono succeeded Larry Kaharick as the head coach in Calgary to begin his coaching career. Kaharick moved here and was the head coach briefly with the BC Lions.
Old school coach, and this was an old school play. This was linebacker play, and this was the finalist with Bear Woods from Montreal for outstanding defensive player in the league. Winning one. Andrew Harris in this matchup won the first half.
Fourth tackle of the game for Elimimian. 2nd and 10. Nichols time, airing it out. Looking downfield, Pioli Godino has got it. A money throw from Matt Nichols. And Pioli Godino getting in to replace Rory Collard has a 42-yard catch.
Well, it really was 2 things. One, you're right, the throw to get it up and over the top of the coverage from Gator, but it was also the speed of Pioli Godino to just keep going down that sideline. So Gator was in a chase, and he was worried about looking and finding the football. When a DB gets worried to look back, it's because they're trying to contain the speed of the receiver. So Pioli Godino, who's not known for that, did a nice job there.
And a big run here for Andrew Harris. And Harris has a first down inside the 35-yard line.
Andrew Harris doesn't, just because Solomon Elimimian made one good tackle in this second half. After I said in the matchup, he's won the first half. He comes back. That's a tackle for Elimimian, but that's a plus or a win in the matchup for Andrew Harris because it was after first down yardage.
17 for Harris. First down. And underneath, catch is made. Brandon Stewart with the tackle. McDuffie the catch.
Mark Washington, the defensive coordinator, trying to match wits here with Paul LaPolice has run some blitz. They've run some blitz from both Solomon Elimimian and Adam Bighill. Seen them hit those A-gaps, and when they do, Matt Nichols has beat him over the top with those corner routes to Ryan Smith. That one post route on the touchdown to Smith. Got him kind of guessing right now.
Lions need to limit the damage. Bombers looking for another first down, but not here. Not on Chandler Penner's watch as he makes the tackle on McDuffie.
Good
field goal
tackle.
unit has to come on.
Good tackle in the open field. Remember that play late in that third quarter when Andrew Harris made Elamimi and Big Hill miss and got the first down? That turned into a Ryan Smith touchdown. This time Fenner wins this one-on-one with Quincy McDuffie, and the field goal team will have to come out. Good tackle in the open field.
Headlock from 37 yards out. Perfect all year under 40. That continues. And the Bombers up the lead to 16 here. Just shy of the 6-minute mark. Third quarter. Lions back to work on offense, but first to the sidelines, Farhan Lalji.
Guys, I asked Jonathan Jennings just how he was feeling after his first 18-game season, and he says, you know what, I feel great. The first month, though, was a different story. He said every part of his body hurt. You remember, he struggled in that first month, and he said he had a conversation with Kahari Jones, who told him you were holding on to the ball too long. He would give up the underneath throws to hold it that second longer just to get the ball downfield. After that, he started getting the ball out early, and you can see the sacks have really tailed off. There was one game early where he gave up 6 sacks against Calgary. Since then, in the last 12 games, he hasn't given up more than 2 sacks at any point. That is changing a bit tonight as the Bombers have 3, but if no other reason, he does feel fresh right now going into this game.
Got the ball out of his hands quickly there to Sinkfield.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes I think it gets down to when you get someone to teach you on your golf swing and you just start to hear so much of get rid of it quickly, get rid of it, hold on to it, sometimes take the hit, go deep with it, but be careful with it. I mean, at some point, they got to let him play with instincts, and he's got good ones.
Great read. Zone replay there for Jennings, picked inside to Jeremiah Johnson, gets 8 on the carry. Randall brings him down.
With this game situation now and the score of 28-12, I mean, this is where you want a guy with a big arm like Jennings, and the way he's been able to push the ball down the field all season to be in the game because he can get back quickly. But that's with no due respect to this Bomber defense, because they may have something else to say about it.
Jennings, the number 2 quarterback in rushing behind Mike Riley. Gives him a first down, pressure on, got away, and now Arsenault! And he took a high hit there, and the flag does come down. A little bit late, but he got clotheslined at the 40-yard line.
Now, I noticed early in that first quarter, Manny Arsenault tried to make a catch that was incomplete, got up and he was limping a little bit. It looks like he may be favoring one of those legs a little bit.
Yeah.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg, number 13. 15 yards to the end of play. First down, BC.
First penalty against the Bombers in the game.
High tackle on TJ Heath. You saw it. First of all, Jennings avoids the rush. He takes a hit to deliver this one, and there's the high tackle right around the face mask.
Down to the Winnipeg 25. Arsenault in motion. Handoff Rainey. Spins off the contact from Liggett. But look at Loeffler close. Flag comes down. Boy, Taylor Loeffler can fly, and that's his 6th tackle of the game. Let's find out what the penalty's all about.
Well, Richie Hall will bring him down low too. He'll rob the curl on him, meaning just not always playing that deep middle of the field like a lot of safeties do.
Holding, BC, number 1. It's a 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
They're going to back him up. Sinkfield called.
Well, I saw that last motion from Emmanuel Arsenault. He was flat out limping. And just take a look at his motion. He starts out, he's just in behind the bottom of your screen. He's limping back to the line of scrimmage.
Bombers have declined the penalty, I believe. They haven't moved the football.
Holding, BC, number 1. That penalty's declined.
Yes.
Second down.
So a loss of about a yard on the play. Second and 11. Jeremiah Johnson releases. Jennings throwing. Incomplete. Flag down. Intended for Atakulu. In the illegal contact range.
Yeah, that's exactly where it is. Ball thrown out of bounds, but
Illegal contact on a receiver. Winnipeg, number 13. 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Back-to-back on TJ Heath.
Well, he may be limping, but I believe it was Heath on coverage on Arsenault. And he's up on the line. Now you allowed 5 yards. That was past 5, kind of bear hug.
Second and 1 now, and in behind Cody Husband should be a first down. Let's get an update on Manny from Farhan.
Guys, yeah, he is laboring. You know, he suffered an injury, an ankle injury on the very first play of the game. They did bring him off. They checked his ankles, and he normally doesn't spat, which is the tape around his shoe, but he did do that to come back into this game. There was simply no way he was going to come out of this game. He still believes he can be effective in the blocking game. He can go straight ahead, but cuts are a challenge right now. He is feeling the ankle injury, guys.
That was early in the first quarter right there. You could see he got up favoring that ankle.
By the nose of the football, a first down.
Gutting it out now, a couple painkillers, and as Farhan mentioned, the spat, which is the tape on the outside of the shoe, try and make the shoe as one with the foot.
But you would think that limits the effectiveness of the most dangerous weapon in the arsenal. First and 10. Labala in the block. Jennings, end zone. Arsenal can't make the catch. And Taylor Loeffler has leveled Arsenault and draws a flag. That's old school safety play. Old school, that might not have been a penalty. But a flag is thrown here in Arsenault.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg, number 16. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Well, Mike O'Shea thinks that Loeffler just played football, went over there and made a hit on a receiver with the ball in his hands. I wonder if it's a defenseless receiver once the ball was gone and Loeffler carried through with the hit. Two different things. Ball missed, and he continued through and make helmet contact. That's called today. That play is called as unnecessary roughness today because it's a defenseless receiver after the ball has gone by. Now, in fairness to Loeffler, he turned his head away from the contact. It looked like he was trying to lead with his shoulder.
And Arsenault just now to his feet, but he'll have to go through the protocol. Sean Gore out of the lineup again today because of concussion issues, and Manny's going to need help.
Loeffler is trying to explain, but today that play is called. It's just called because there was helmet-to-helmet contact. It was after the ball went through, even though it was quick. It was after the ball went through, considered a defenseless receiver, and you got to try and pull up on this hit. And Loeffler didn't, carried through with it. But he hit you. He hit you, and he tried to get his head out. You could see he tried to hit with his shoulder first. And I don't think he had much of an argument. He went to the official, talked to him about it. He explained it. He went, oh, okay, right, I get it.
Is a first down inside the 10. First and goal. Well, bust there. Jennings going to have to eat it to get back to the line of scrimmage. He turned one way. Johnson was going the other. So they waste a play, and it's second and goal.
And you don't want to waste a play inside the opponent's 10-yard line, that's for sure.
Ninth play of the drive.
Shaq Johnson,
yes,
has come in as a receiver to the right side of the formation for Manny Arsenault.
Former London junior player. Here comes the heat. Jennings takes off. Jonathan Jennings, touchdown. Well, they lost a key component on the drive, but they get the end result they desperately needed.
Jonathan Jennings has done this a lot more in the back half of the season, especially in the red zone. sees his lane, coverage downfield, allows the receivers to pull the defensive backs away, and then
A little bit of grit in that step as he heads to the sidelines.
yeah, I noticed it too. Almost a march back to his spot on the bench.
And here's Paul McCallum. First time they go for the one-point convert. And McCallum at 46 years of age looks the uprights. Lions get a little closer. They're within 9. Just over 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter after a touchdown run by Jonathan Jennings. Two teams, 10 trucks traveling from coast to coast to the Grey Cap Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Manny Arsenault's been escorted to the locker room for the concussion protocol process.
Leone kicking it off. McDuffie from his 10. Cuts it inside and is upended around the 28-yard line. What a wild weekend of college action, U Sports action. And we wanted to salute Laurier with a win over Western 43-40. Calgary beats UBC 46-43. Laval on a kind of a trick play near the end of the game, 2017 over Montreal. St. F. over Mount Allison 29-8 as the university action continues, and the Saskatoon Hilltops, Canadian Junior champs again, over West Shore Rebels for their third straight Canadian Junior title. Boy with a quick stop to that play on a pass underneath to Denmark, and like the Lions trying to wave it off as incomplete.
Well, it may be, and it looks like they're wanting Wally Buono to challenge it. Alex Bazzi looking to the bench, trying to get his coach to challenge. I don't think this is worth a gamble with the challenge, but does it come out or not? It looks like it does.
It's a 4-yard pickup. The Lions going to challenge it or not?
But I don't know why you want to waste it this early, and that's what Wally did.
Yeah, the BC bench wanted it. There's a pass for Adams and a pass interference call against Gator. And it will be a first down for the Bombers.
And I think it's the right call by Wally Buono not to be tempted to throw the challenge flag there. He probably wins it, as you saw. But let's say he does. Now it's back to second and 10.
BC, number 23. Point of foul, automatic first down.
Now it's back to second and 10, Chris, and this is a 15-yard route by Darvin Adams and an interference call that gives him a first down, and that's a challenge that he didn't have to use. So
yeah, keep the powder dry for something more important.
Exactly.
He's been around the block once or twice.
Yes, he has.
First and 10. Fake to Harris. Downfield, it's Weston Dressler. Brought down by the safety, Mike Edom. Dressler into Lion territory at the BC 52.
Take a look at, again, when you've got one guy that's the offense runs through and Andrew Harris. See a little pause there from Solomon Elamimian? That holds him and opens up the throwing lane behind him, the area behind him, a linebacker. And sitting there is Weston Dressler.
Dressler at 98 yards in the game. Over the middle for Dressler, that's incomplete. He may have heard footsteps that time in traffic.
I know we have just over a quarter to play, but I would suggest this is a big one right here. Lions want to come back, or the Bombers want to put the pedal to the metal here and bury them. Get a first down here, you're in field goal range. Don't, Lions get the ball back. I think this is a biggie.
Lions fan sets that as Nichols goes back to pass. Pressure on. Dressler was open, but the heat was on, and he couldn't make the connection with an open Weston Dressler.
Looked like Matt Nichols turned and talked to his O-line briefly there. He felt the pressure from that side. Here's Dresser up on the top of your screen. And he is open. I mean, he gets there. He finds the hole. But the pressure from that same side of the pocket forces the
Medlock trying to pin them. Rainey at his 10. Gets a block, but flags fly. And Rainey drilled at the 17-yard line, and a penalty likely against BC to be tacked on.
Jonathan Jennings has 24 starts to his credit in the regular season. He has one other playoff start. This is second tonight. Has not beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers yet. 0-3 against the Bombers, and his issue against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is turnovers. Take a look at tonight. First series of the game. Interception. A couple series later, fumble. Again, a couple of turnovers that have put them in this hole. Now, can he climb out of it?
Well, he led them on a touchdown march, scored on the 7-yard run. The last time BC had the ball, an illegal block penalty against Mike Edom means that this series will start inside the BC 10-yard line. Long field. And a 9-point deficit. In fact, they start at their 5. Bombers showing pressure from the end zone. Jennings loads. He's going deep. He wants Sinkfield. And a defensive play made by Randall, who was in his hip pocket. And now flag comes down. And is that a flag on the Lions' reaction at the bench?
Well, if Wally Buono wants to take a chance to challenge here, this would make more sense if he does. But let's take a look if there's any problem. Little hand fighting back and forth. That arm bar may be what the fans noticed, and that could be one.
And here comes the challenge flag. There was no penalty flag thrown. Saw something orange go in the air at the Lion bench on the reaction, and Wally Buono, now there's a play that
now you
challenge is worth.
Absolutely.
Because that could be 50 yards.
That eats up half the field right there and gets you out of it.
BC is challenging that there was pass interference on BC number 1. We'll review the play.
Yeah, that gets you out of the shadow of your goalpost if you win the challenge. And I think the issue for Chris Randall here, he's in good position. The armbar, look at the two guys are discussing it and say, what'd you get? Well, I think you got me. See, right now he's okay, but the armbar underneath and not allowing Sinkfield to lift his other hand to the football, you cannot impede the receivers from reaching for the football. You have to play the ball. So this one, first of all, with the field position that's at stake here, a good challenge by Wally Buono, and he's got a shot on this to win it.
And even watching the players, this is why, as maligned as the challenge is, it gives the officials a chance to get it right.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. We have pass interference. Winnipeg number 8. Ball will be placed at the 47-yard line. Point of foul. Automatic first down.
That is an enormous call in favor of the Lions, and the ball comes across midfield.
Yeah, and this is the discussion between the two principals. Terrell Sinkfield and Chris Randall going, yeah, well, what do you think? No, that's hand fighting. Randall saying that's hand fighting. Come on, that's hand fighting. No, the arm, you got my arm. And Fioli Godino wants to try and support his teammate. But that's right, and I don't have a problem on the PI, OPI, or DPI challenges to take a look and get it right. It's the illegal contact that is the issue.
58-yard penalty, a big one for BC to get out of a hole. That throw to the sidelines under duress as Jake Thomas came up the middle and turned up the heat.
Well, the priority when it comes to targets for Jonathan Jennings have just changed. It's been Manny Arsenault 1, Brian Burnham 2, Terrell Sinkfield, and then a little of either Stephen Atakulu or Sean Gore when he was healthy. Now it shifts to Burnham 1, Sinkfield 2, and then Anakulu after that. Burnham's been quiet so far tonight.
2nd and 10. Whoa, Olafioye out of his stance. And it's going to be 2nd and 15 as the top offensive lineman for BC jumped the count.
Procedure. BC, number 63. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
7-time All-Star, top offensive lineman in this league. A nominee again for the Lions.
3 catches so far for Brian Burnham.
.47 yards, touchdown for Burnham in the game. 4-man bomber front. Johnson out of the backfield. Gets away from one, but not the 2nd man. Ian Weil tosses him down at the 45-yard line. You'd think 52 yards is out of Paul McCallum's range at this point, and Leone coming on to try to get the Bombers pinned.
Now, Wally Guano did say yesterday at the press conference that if he needed a long one, 50 plus, 55, he would go back to Richie Leone for that long range one, but I like this decision.
They flipped the field on the penalty, and now Leone looks for the corner, and McDuffie takes that on the goal line. That's a mistake.
Yep.
They get the pin courtesy of the McDuffie return.
That just bailed out Richie Leone. It started as a mistake by Leone, then he didn't get it angled out in the field of play inside the 10. It switched to Quincy McDuffie when he fielded that ball standing on his goal line.
He's the prime suspect in a presidential assassination, and now he's on the run. Ryan Phillippe stars in the new series Shooter, premieres Tuesday night at 10 Eastern on Bravo. Bombers lead by 9, and now they've got to get out of the shadows of their goalpost. And they give it to Harris. And Andrew Harris brought down around the 13-yard line. Sets up 2nd and 7. Chandler Finner, the former Seattle Seahawk, on the tackle. Every play gets a little bigger now, doesn't it? Yeah, one more in the 3rd quarter. Get to the 20, looks one way, the other, over the middle, nobody home. And it will be a 2-and-out for Winnipeg. And on the final play of the 3rd quarter, the Lions get a stop they need. Winnipeg will be kicking it away, and BC will have the football in the 4th quarter to start. It's Winnipeg by 9 in this Western semifinal clash. To the 4th quarter, separated by 9 points and by 1 yard of offense.
Well, we've seen a good football game, and now it's up to probably 3-4 plays. Which team makes those 3 or 4 plays in the 4th quarter, because the Lions now back in striking distance.
I go back to their last meeting here. Remember, it was inside 3 minutes, and the Lions led by 10, and in less than a minute, Winnipeg took the lead. So a lot can happen, and Wally Buono won a challenge that helped flip the field, and now he should get good field position after a 2-and-out stop by his defense. Medlock from the end zone, and he will not concede, and there's a flag. They got to Medlock, and that's something that the Lions could not afford to do. What a costly penalty this is, and a big boost for the Bombers.
Major foul, roughing the kicker. BC, number 91, 15 yards, automatic 1st down.
Cameron Onko laid out looking for the block, and he got Medlock.
See if the leg is in the air. It still is. I think he almost cut underneath him. It was all in the angle that Onko took. Just too close to Medlock, and it gives the Bombers another set of downs.
So that negates what would have been Lion field position around midfield. Gives Matt Nichols a second set of downs, and Darvin Adams can't reach that. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Remember early in that first half, I was showing you the underneath player in Anthony Gator here on those corner routes that ended up here. Well, this isn't a corner route. This is going to be a straight go route, but same idea. Gator's got the short flat, but this time he's going to fall underneath. See how he falls under it here? He's falling under the deeper route, voiding his zone because right now he doesn't have a threat in it, so he can fall underneath. He's learning and evolving as the game goes on and made that play.
2nd and 10 from the 28. Nichols throws, open man, first down. Ryan Smith's got another big catch.
Boy, this is one that Matt Nichols just, he puts it right in the hole. He's going to just throw this with some velocity because he's got on one side, he's got Adam Big Hill breaking, coming downhill, and it's Mike Edel.
4th catch, 81 yards for Smith. Nichols over 300, and clears Denmark loose. And all the way down to the 26-yard line.
There'll be 3 or 4 big plays made in this 4th quarter that will determine the winner. I would say a roughing the kicker call and maybe that throw right there are 2 of them.
Matt Nichols has 7 completions over 20 yards in the game.
That just flipped the field back.
Washington squad, again, only 9 interceptions this year. They were 8th in takeaways. BC could use one, but the Bombers are very good with the football. Andrew Harris inside. Not much there as he's dragged down by Brooks. But he's done more than manage this football game.
Has he ever? Has he ever? The accuracy's been there. He's had good protection. That O-line back and intact, especially with the 2 guards back in there, and Travis Bond and Sue Chunk. He's had his time to throw. He's had his throwing lanes. Made the plays necessary so far.
2nd and 8. Here comes Heat. They screen it, and it's Ryan Smith, and he's stripped up from behind. Purifoy with terrific hustle to limit the damage, and Medlock and the field goal unit will come on.
Boy, Purifoy just put it in the afterburners. He was so far behind this play, I thought no shot he's going to get there. They want to let the Lions get through the line on this play because it's the screen. Get him in behind. Now, Smith has that lead by about 4 or 5 yards, and Purifoy just put it in another gear.
And that angle told you that if Purifoy doesn't reach him, Ryan Smith's still running.
They score.
Medlock again puts it through, and that makes it a 12-point Winnipeg lead. Just under 12 minutes left. Purifoy, though, with a tackle that may have saved more damage. CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Thriller in the Eastern Semi. A 3-point Edmonton win. And now 31-19. Lions trailing. And a quarterback draw for Jennings. And Jennings taken down by Loeffler up at the 43. Let's check back in with Farhan.
Guys, Manny Arsenault will not be back in this game. They did diagnose him with a concussion, and he is still in the locker room. The man that hit him, Taylor Loeffler, a hard-nosed player who's been a big-time find for the Bombers. Going into the draft last year, he was ranked in the top 10, but he fell into the 3rd round primarily because teams around the league were very concerned about his injury history. The Lions thought about taking him. They went with Anthony Thompson instead. That really motivated Loeffler. He went through a number of injuries throughout his collegiate career at Boise State. Knee, both hip labrums, his shoulder. And when he played at UBC last year, he basically had an arrangement with Blake Neal that he would rarely practice less than 10 times. But this year, he has been completely healthy. He thinks the pro football life where you're rarely in full pads has helped, and he believes he's got a lot of football left in him.
Last visit here, which was his first as a pro, he was our player of the game. Quick hitter at midfield. And Adekulu, well, has another catch.
Yeah, and let me be clear about one thing. That hit on Manny Arsenault by Taylor Loeffler, I mean, I liked it. I mean, that's old school football. That's the shoulder first. He did try to get the head out, but that type of play is called as unnecessary roughness in today's game on both sides of the border. So it's, you know, the old school way of thinking, and that just big physical hit over the middle on a receiver. I mean, I like the play. Don't get me wrong. It's called a penalty now.
Here's Jeremiah Johnson with the burst. And back to the ground game for him. Still time to stay on the ground. And Johnson has gone for over 100.
Well, it's way too early to abandon it. It's way too early. You got to keep the balance in there. Keep those linebackers for Winnipeg doing what Solomon Elimimian and Adam Bighill have been doing all game long, is to move up towards the line of scrimmage on Andrew Harris. Now they're trying to get Khalil Bassi and Wild to move up on Jeremiah Johnson.
Travis Lulay was talking about that yesterday as they attend to middle linebacker Khalil Bass, that the bind the Lions put you in is if you want to overplay the run, then you're man-to-man on some dangerous weapons, although that conversation was focused a lot about Manny Arsenault, who is no longer available.
And the score now changes it as well.
So with Bass down and getting attention, we'll step out. 9.5 to go here in Vancouver. The Audi 2016 MLS Cup playoffs continue Tuesday the 22nd of the month. First leg of the conference championships all begins when Montreal takes on Toronto FC, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN 1 and 3. The other conference final, Seattle and Colorado later that night. Sam Hurl checks in, the University of Calgary product, in place of the injured Khalil Bass. Wide side of the field by Anucci, a catch, and down to the 30, another BC first down.
Brad wanted a penalty for that push from Sam Hurl. Not going to get it here. Move after the catch here, just that little curl pattern to the outside the numbers. And that little push, the crowd on that side of the stadium wanted a penalty. Good no call there.
We've got Reedy, Johnson, Burnham all in the backfield, and now Burnham sets up in the slot. And they hand it off Reedy inside. Got a little room, and then Loeffler brings him down around the 21 for 5.
Yeah, he almost hides behind that O-line, doesn't he? He gets in behind there. He makes himself small. And it must be difficult for the linebackers to find him. I mean, Taylor Loeffler often will come down and run support. He ends up making the tackle. I want to say that's getting close to double figures for tackles for Taylor Loeffler.
177 yards rushing for BC in the game. Second down, and the timing perfect to Sinfield in front of Bruce Johnson at the 10 for a Lion first down.
Yeah, it really was, and it had to be. Bruce Johnson closed quickly. By the way, I talked to Michael O'Shea about Kevin Fox, said he may be available if the Bombers move to Calgary and play next week. He may be available for that game. Right now, Bruce Johnson playing in that spot was right there, but the timing just couldn't cover it.
8th play of the drive, it's first and goal. BC needs a major. Jeremiah Johnson inside, down around the 6. Ian Wild helping out on the stop along with Hurl. 2nd and goal from the 6.
And I think right now Kahari Jones, Wally Guano likely talking about whether or not if they don't get it, they're playing 3-down football, down 31-19 at this point anyway.
And there is time for multiple possessions, but 3 still makes it a 2-score Winnipeg lead. Jennings ends zone wide open, touchdown, Sickfield. We're going to go down to the wire.
Going to one. They're going to go for 1 here. Good protection. What a pickup. Just enough from Jeremiah Johnson on the blitz coming. But Jennings had the time to see his target, Sinkfield.
Had they got 1 each time, it'd be 31-28. If Paul McCallum was good on all the attempts. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, and it's good. 5-point lead. Sinkfield with the touchdown grab that gets BC a little closer. CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by Shaw, proud sponsor and fan of the Canadian Football League. Hope you're enjoying it. Been a good one. Terrell Sinkfield's made it a 5-point game.
We're going to do this for Manny. We're going to do this one for Manny.
Manny not available, so Sinkfield in the breach has stepped up. Going to be a terrific final 7 minutes, you wouldn't think, based on what we have seen here today. Quincy McDuffie gets slowed up and bounces away. Can't get outside. Big tackle. There's Anthony Thompson, who Farhan mentioned was drafted instead of Taylor Loeffler by the BC Lions, making a play on the team.
Let's go back to the touchdown. I want to show you a nice block by Jeremiah Johnson. One that if he doesn't make, it probably doesn't work. Here comes Ian Wild, and here comes the block from Johnson. Just enough on the cut block on the blitz from the linebacker to give Jennings time to throw it to Terrell Sinkfield. Steps up, cuts him right here, makes that block, makes him stumble just enough, and you can see it was a matter of an extra second to get it to a wide open receiver.
Down to Nichols throwing, and it got to McDuffie, and a catch at the 30, and that should be a first down. But here's the situation why the Bombers spent a lot of time this week practicing with noise, because it's going to get loud here.
Makes it tougher for Matt Nichols to make any changes or audibles on the line of scrimmage. Make sure that's a good catch, and it is from Quincy McDuffie. Hands underneath, keeps it off the turf, and they turn up the volume.
They'll take inside, now they shovel it there, and that's stopped by Elabimian.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road. The 2016 GMC Sierra.
Both teams good in the fourth quarter. Bombers have outscored their opponents 168-95 in the fourth. And BC is 4-3 when trailing after 3 quarters. Crunch time, under 5 to go. 2nd and 10, 3-man rush. And here's Harris. Lacombo was spying Andrew Harris, who's going to come up a couple of yards short. Michael O'Shea surveying, but he has to get beyond the 40, and they mark it a yard short of that. Deadlock's got to come on.
Boy, Matt Nichols, Chris, he held in there. Watch Alex Bazzi coming off the edge. He held in there just long enough to give Andrew Harris a chance to get out on that little swing. And he plants him, takes a hit to get it out there, give him a chance. They're still going to have to kick it away.
Rainey back at the BC 30. Medlock's kick is to the wide side of the field. Rainey tracks it down inside the 30, 44-yard punt. And they have contained Rainey with terrific coverage all day long.
Well, Justin Medlock, team's nominee for special teams player, has done a nice job with the punting, the directional punting in this game this afternoon. He's kept it away from Rainey in the first half, kicking it to Marco Iannuzzi, and that time kicked it way to the wide field, made him go run under it.
There's Derek Jones on the stop. I asked Wally Bono yesterday, more important to have a game breaker as a return man or a solid kicker, and he said, you can contain a return man, but you need good kicking.
Khalil Bass back in there. That's a good sign for the Bombers.
From the BC 28, quickly into the flat. Another catch for Atakulu. Had just 2 catches for 29 yards during the entire season. He has 5 catches today, replacing the injured Sean Gore.
Got to grow up in a hurry. Become a veteran in a hurry.
Big second down play. 2nd and 4. Short drop in quickly into the hands of Rainey. First down. TJ Heath the stop. But Rainey, the triple threat, rushing, receiving, returning, moves the chains.
Boy, it's an interesting dynamic going on. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers had the season series early on in the season when they beat them back-to-back. Lost it at the end of the season. Right now, Lions have the trump card.
3-minute warning given to the benches. We'll be right back. A couple of coaches who have had terrific seasons. Mike O'Shea from a 1-4 to this position. Wally Bono in his return, and a matchup of great Canadians in this CFL game, and the wheels turning with 3 minutes left. A couple of times this year, the Lions have taken the ball in the final 3 minutes, driven the field to win the game, and left no time on the clock. Iannuzzi steps out after a catch of about 7. They did it in the first game of the year against Calgary. They did it in Toronto. Can Jonathan Jennings orchestrate another game-winning drive here?
Both these quarterbacks here tonight have had 5 game-winning drives deep in the 4th quarter in the regular season. Can Jennings get this drive done with a major and take the 2:46 off the clock in the process? Don't give Matt Nichols any more time.
And with that said, we could have 3 different possessions in the final 3 minutes.
Absolutely. You go back and forth.
2nd and 4. And this play doesn't get off.
That's what's the dynamic I was trying to explain and didn't do a very good job of it. When they
Timeout, BC.
When these two teams played each other for the season series, Winnipeg wins it, takes the season series. That was a few weeks back. But then lost that edge when they lost to Ottawa. BC gets it by finishing the season with 2 wins against Saskatchewan. It's been Winnipeg with the lead the entire game here tonight. And yet, right now, BC has control. They have the ball, they have time, they need a major, but they need to take all the time off the clock.
Lions have used their final timeout, which might be costly in case they don't do what the suggested script would be to win this game, drive the field and leave nothing on the clock.
Now this is the defense that has intercepted the ball 13 more times than the next closest team in the league.
Our stats man Dave Moyer telling us they converted on the last 5 second downs, make it 6 in a row. Rainey with the catch. Dragged down by Ian Wild, but the Lions across midfield.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a good tackle by Ian Wild. That's a good tackle by Ian Wild, because this is Chris Rainey with some field in front of him. Catches that, turns the corner. He can make some people miss in smaller spaces than that. Wild catches him from behind.
To the Winnipeg 53. Swing past Rainey, got a block. Try to get the crease, but not this time. Ball down by Terrence Frederick. Bruce Johnson there. Contain for a couple. Call it 3, 2nd and 7.
Bono doesn't convert here. He still has the option to kick it away and think he may get the ball back if he can cop and corner it.
Interesting decision upcoming. He'd prefer not to have to make it. See if they convert for the 7th consecutive time. Wide open. He's there. Iannuzzi trying to stay in bounds, and Frederick will stop the clock, but that's a big first down and 21 for Marco Iannuzzi.
It's so big for a couple of reasons. Not only does it obviously keep the BC Lions from that difficult decision they would have had to have made if they didn't convert. It gets them another set of downs, but they can now kill this clock with the run game back involved. Go back to Jeremiah Johnson if that's what they want to do. Try and grind it down. And then get close.
Excuse me, Suits. Jonathan Jennings over 300 at 312 in the game. Both quarterbacks over that in the shootout. And that pass caught Burnham underneath. In front of TJ Heath at the 13.
Great double move by Brian Burnham. He's been quiet all afternoon. Little double move there and back into the middle. Out cut and then back inside, and Loeffler just there a split second late.
So efficient that there's still a lot of time on the clock here. Or Michael O'Shea, the Lions 3 for 4 in the red zone. Santorini back in as the tailback. He gets the carry and crashing down to the 9. So they're 9 yards away from a touchdown. They are going to need 6 yards for a first down. And at any point, does Mike O'Shea use his timeout?
Yeah, he's got to start thinking about that. And now Buono's got 2 downs to get a new set. Try and grind it down.
They can get a first down without scoring. They've really got the hammer.
That's right.
Second down, it's not there. In trouble. Gets away. Trying to get outside Loeffler. He does. Touchdown. What a run by Jonathan Jennings.
Matt Nichols is loosening up. He's got time. Wally Buono's going to go for 2. But what a run by Jennings. I don't know how he escaped the pocket to begin with. It looked like he was caught and collapsed. That pocket had just disappeared. Bounces out of there. That little hesitation stutter move on Taylor Loeffler. And then he goes up over the top. Does he get there and cross the plane? Hands okay, elbow, that's touchdown. That's touchdown. Can put the hand down, that's not down by contact. Ball crosses there before the elbow.
Second touchdown run of the game for Jennings, the first lead of the game for the Lions. But there's still 1:06 on the clock.
Oh, immediately I saw it down below our vantage point here and watched Matt Nichols just starting to keep loosening up. He looked up at the clock, saw over a minute, and thought we've still got time.
Sinkfield getting attention. You know, there was a story in the Vancouver paper today that suggested Jonathan Jennings is the #1 athlete right now in Vancouver. And I don't know if you can argue that.
No, you stay base.
Just his second year, 24 years of age.
Let's go trips. What you want? No, let's go.
Rebounding from a sluggish start.
Yep.
And now looking for 2 to make it a 3-point lead and make the Bombers need 7 to win and only 3 to force extra time. So this is big.
Got Rolly Lumbala in there.
Hand it off for 2, and they're not going to get there. Bombers shut that down. And now they've got a chance to win it with a field goal.
Well, a great chance. And you just saw the confident nod from Matt Nichols. I mentioned Roland Lombala because he was either going to lead or he was going to be a decoy that opens up his receiver. Stop it there. I mean, Lombala to the left is open, not used. They close in on Jeremiah Johnson.
Didn't like the call. That opens the door for the Bombers to win it.
What an effort by Jonathan Jennings. Boy, this game has just been sort of like a glimpse at his entire season. Some unbelievable plays, throws that you go, not many can make. But the odd mistake too, all mixed in there. Now can the defense hold?
And I think we've run the gamut of this guy's season too.
Absolutely.
And he has a chance to be the hero here.
Remember, both quarterbacks 5 times fourth quarter drives for wins. Now Matt Nichols has it in his hands.
Punched by Leone downfield is McDuffie trying to set it up for the Bombers field position wise. A hurdle and extra yards there before he's dropped at the 37. But that leap may have given the Bombers 10 extra yards. And remember, Justin Medlock's hit from 58. Wheels turning between Paul LaPolice and Mark Washington.
Does Paul LaPolice go back to Andrew Harris? When they have to start things out, it's pulled the linebackers up, given Matt Nichols some time in behind. He's got plenty of time here.
Fans on their feet. Here comes pressure. And over the middle, Ryan Smith, another clutch catch. And a big play up to the 51-yard line.
Adam Big Hill dropped out of there so early that Matt Nichols knew he had the middle of the field open.
They only need 10, 15 yards for Medlock range. Quick throw here. Ryan Smith's got it. And hauled down at the BC 53.
One play. One team goes home, one team goes on.
Second and 4. Pass knocked down. Alex Bazzi with the rejection. And now it's going to have to be 3rd and 4 or 5 or a 60-yard field goal attempt.
I'm going to go for it on 3rd down would be my guess. There's plenty of time. The clock's not an issue here for Michael O'Shea. He knows he's got to get closer. Medlock's been money, but this is too far.
Even under perfect conditions, they won't try from 60. They need 4. Oh, we're going to get a challenge here. He's looking for something. Did Elimimian impede Andrew Harris's progress?
Trying to get him the ball.
Winnipeg is challenging that there was pass interference on their player number 33. We'll review the play.
If the challenge is pass interference, the fact that Alex Bazzi knocks the ball down is going to be part of this decision. Because on a deflected ball at the line, you can make contact. Now, if this is illegal contact, is that past 5 yards? That's a different case. But you see the knockdown.
It's inside the 1st down marker, and it was 2nd and 4, so I don't think he's got the 5 yards.
So you got your markers here. Your markers, right there is the 5-yard mark, just past the 50. Contact made here, that's legal contact inside of 5 yards. If the ball is tipped, then that hit doesn't matter. And the ball was knocked down. Now the question was, when Elimimian just before that threw Andrew Harris to the ground, what was the timing of that? This would be an interesting decision.
a penalty and will get them into Medlock range.
Now let's again, Kim Murphy said that they're challenging pass interference.
Action review. The ruling on the field stands. Winnipeg has charged their final team timeout. It is third down.
It's not pass interference if the ball is tipped or knocked at the line of scrimmage, and that's what happened with Alex Spazzy getting his hands on it.
And as you mentioned, he jammed Harris, and the contact later on Dressler was after the ball was batted down. So,
and they're going with Medlock.
They are going to try the 60-yarder.
His career-long 58.
In fact, he's got the tee down at 61. Well, he's the top special team player in the West this year. This would be beyond special. Instead of 3rd and 4, from 61 out, and a trip to Calgary. Up, not gonna get there, not even close. Rainey's should take a knee and gets down, and the BC Lions are 27 seconds away.
It looks like Michael O'Shea, Chris, had that time with the challenge to rethink it. I'm surprised they didn't leave Matt Nichols on 3rd down and get just one more play closer.
Too much.
Obviously no win to help Medlock on this. 61 is asking too much. He's been money all year, but that's just too far in a dome stadium. I think that decision will be second-guessed when it comes to not trying it on 3rd down. Either way, it comes down to one play.
He looked like he was 10 yards short. Lions set up in victory formation. What a football game. He knew right away.
I think Matt Nichols wanted one more play. 3rd down and medium. One more 1st down and Medlock makes that kick.
For Jonathan Jennings, 2 touchdown runs in the game, and the game winner, and it will be BC against Calgary in the 2016 Western Final. Down by 19, Wally Waddell's Lions fight back and steal it.
Full credit to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They led this game pretty much from start to the last 2 minutes. What a comeback by Jonathan Jennings. And really about 5 to 10 yards short of a Matt Nichols game-winning drive.
Time for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Well, we'll go with Jonathan Jennings. It was going to be either quarterback tonight. Matt Nichols did a tremendous job all night long, but 329 yards. But maybe most importantly for Jennings, coming back from the early mistakes. An interception in drive 1. A couple drives later, he fumbled the ball. He got rid of those negative thoughts, came back, stuck with it, battled and brought his team back.
Remember after the second touchdown that got them within about 10, he went to the sidelines as the Lions celebration is on. But we noted his march on the sidelines like he was not going to be denied. Yeah! Well, the agony and the ecstasy in those 2 shots. Taylor Loeffler, who had such an imprint on this game and the Bombers' season as the top rookie. 11-7 during the regular season. Best road team. Looked like they had this game under control, but a wild fourth quarter comeback by the BC Lions. Their 24-year-old quarterback grows in stature a little bit more. Final score, 32-31. Can't wait for the East and West Finals next Sunday. So long from BC Place Stadium.